Good afternoon, and everybody, welcome to Game 2 of the Great Lakes Invitational. Today we have the University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse Eagles against Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays. My name is Ryan Schumer, and I'm joined here by the yin to my yang, my broadcasting partner in crime, Ryan Shearhart, on a beautiful Saturday afternoon for some collegiate basketball and an amazing game, offensive game, early on, the first game of the Great Lakes Invitational with the Marietta College Pioneers taking down the Flying Dutchman of Hope College. Ryan, how are we doing today after one game of action?
Yeah, doing really well. I mean, that game was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of offense, not a lot of defense from either side, but man, it was fun. And man, oh man, did the Pioneers put on an absolute shooting clinic, multiple players above 25 points, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And speaking of guys that can score the basketball, I mean, Johns Hopkins has John Windley, who comes into this one averaging 22 points a game, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double with 20-plus at the collegiate level, which is simply unheard of. I mean, fantastic player, can score the basketball in a variety of different ways. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching him play. And then on the flip side, for the University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse, Dustin DeRusso leads the Eagles in scoring at 16.3 points per game. So we're going to have a couple dudes going at it that know how to score the basketball in a variety of ways, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, it all comes down to it. Who can get hot early, who can get hot fast, and which team can solidify themselves on the defense. Last game we saw Marietta College really solidify themselves, causing a lot of Dutchman turnovers, allowing for a lot of opportunities in transition, and really just allowed them, as soon as they got hot, to grow that lead, and they never gave it up. Yesterday we did see the Eagles of Wisconsin-LaCrosse take down Marietta College, so really interested to see them take on Johns Hopkins Blue Jays head-to-head here. 55 seconds remaining until the national anthem and the starting lineups. Ryan, what do you want to see out of both of these squads, especially from the offensive and the defensive aspect? Yeah, I just want to see them get out and score the basketball at an efficient rate, get into their offense early, maybe get a couple of buckets inside and let that heat up the hot shooting from the outside. But I would love to see good defense translating into good offense.
Yeah, you said it right there, defense to offense. And that's been the name of the game so far. Obviously, we just talked about it last game with Marietta College, doing so good on the defense, allowing for a lot of offensive opportunities. And no national anthem for game number 2. We had that one before game number 1. A little bit more empty, as Hope was about 30-minute drive for most of the parents, but a little bit more empty for this one against Johns Hopkins versus Wisconsin-LaCrosse. But now we'll turn it over to the PA for the starting lineups.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Van Ord Arena here on the campus of Calvin University for Game 2 of Day 2 of the 2024 7th Annual Great Lakes Invitational. Our matchup today features the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins University and the Eagles of the University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse. Let's meet the starters. First up, the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins. A 6'6" senior guard from White House, North. 6 sophomore, number 13, Jeb Williams. A 6'7" tall junior, number 22, Tanati Feli. And a 6'4" junior, number 23, Charlie Jackson. And now let's meet the home team, the Eagles of the University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse. A 6'3" junior, number 11, Dustin DeRusso. A 6' senior, number 3, Will Furman. A 6'8" junior, number 13, Will Piter. A sophomore at 6'4", number 15, Sam Grieger. And a 6'5" senior, number 44, Max Siebert. The Eagles are coached by JT Gritzmacher.
And there you have it, folks, the starting lineups for both of these squads. For Johns Hopkins Blue Jays, number 4, Brian Jonasson. Number 10, John Winley. Number 13, Jeb Williams. Number 22, Tati Felly. And number 23, Charlie Jackson. And for the Wisconsin-LaCrosse Eagles, we got number 3, Will Furman. Number 11, Dustin DeRusso. Number 13, JJ Pater. Number 15, Sam Greiger. And number 44, Mac Siebert. And to get things going, we'll have DeRusso on number 22, Felly, to get things going.
And a smaller run and gun lineup here for University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse Eagles.
Yeah, a little bit of a different lineup than we saw in the first game. A lot of big men. Nonetheless, Johns Hopkins will get it going. Winley with the ball. Felly able to win it off the rip. He gets it right now on the corner. Hand off to Jonasson. Jonasson goes up, off the glass, no good. Almost gets the offensive rebound. Pater with it, the junior. Greiger. Kick over to Siebert, over to DeRusso. Both teams moving around a little bit slower, trying to find some opportunities to make first points of this one. Pater over to Siebert. Siebert. DeRusso driving, kick out to Greiger from 3, no good. Pater there, not able to connect. And Jeb Williams with it. Over to Winley. Felly now driving, spinning, kicked over the corner. Williams from 3, no good. Rebound for the Blue Jays. 16 to shoot, thought about it was Johannesson. 3-point try, no good from Williams. So both teams starting off a little bit on the cold side. Ryan, what do you want to see out of both of these squads? Is a long pull air ball there from number 11, Dustin DeRusso.
You know, a lot of just pulling from outside. I mean, both smaller lineups, a lot of guys that can knock down, and both teams that can make it rain from behind the arc. But man, maybe we need to work the ball around, dribble drive, get inside for a layup or a couple of kick-out opportunities, maybe a little bit of some more efficient shots than some of these ugly looks.
Yeah, almost kind of a pull and pray situation right now, where we're at right now. And a 3-point try there for Jeb Williams, no good. Once again, still looking for our first points of the afternoon as Furman takes it up the floor. Driving, hesitation, goes up and off the glass.
That was a nice take right there from Furman. A little in and out hesitation dribble, taking it straight to the rack and laid it up with the right hand very beautifully.
Yeah, I really love that. Almost a block there for Felly, but just a second too late. Now he has it in the paint, off, and lays that one in for the Blue Jays' first points of this one. Really interesting, Ryan. LaCrosse picking up the Eagles, or excuse me, the Blue Jays in a full court press. And a finish
another
there.
inside finish. I mean, just keep attacking that lane if you're the Eagles right now.
Yeah, DeRusso attacking Felly down low. Successful at that so far. And Williams now looked like he had the opportunity to drive. Kicks it to Williams. 3-point try. Windley, no good. Rebound to Greiger. Moving up the floor. Greiger from the corner. This time Siebert from 3. Almost there, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Furman. And still both teams trying for the 3-point try.
Yeah, both teams just letting it fly, trusting their shooters, which, you know, like they always say, good shooters just keep on shooting, they will fall. And we saw that a little bit in the game before this. You know, Hope just kept shooting, finally got it to connect a little bit from behind the arc, but hoping that these can keep falling, or start falling, excuse me, for either squad.
Yeah, I totally agree, Ryan. Williams driving to the rack, off the glass and in. And we're all knotted up here at 4. And Van Noord. DeRusso now driving, up and under and in. And both teams pounding the paint now. DeRusso, 4 points in the first 3 minutes Full court press, no problems so far for the Blue Jays. 3 try from the corner, no good. Offensive rebound for Felly, back out to Williams, no good. And a very cold start for the Blue Jays. Furman, along with Pater, moving around the outside. DeRusso trying to find Pater, just a little high. And some quick substitutions for the Blue Jays. Number 2, Logan Feller, and number 33, Will Stevenson.
And the good thing for the Blue Jays, as their shots aren't falling here, is that the Eagles aren't making them pay for it on the offensive end. Only up by 2 here.
Only up by 2, definitely a good option. And not too many turnovers. Saw a lot of turnovers to start the game in game number 1. So both of these teams protecting the basketball, just the shots are not falling so far. And there, forgot to knock on some wood as Williams' first turnover of the night. As Greiger takes it away, driving now, floater, no good. Rebound from Johansson. Williams driving off the glass, too short. Siebert gets the rebound, kicks over to Greiger, slows things down under the advisement of Coach JT Gritzmacher. Driving now is Greiger. Spinning, fading, short rebound. And Ryan, it just seems like both of these teams playing a little bit too fast here in Van Noord early on.
And you know, I don't even think pace of play is the issue. I think that they're getting a lot of good looks as knocking down that triple is John Windley. We mentioned his name earlier, averaging 22 a game. We know he can score the basketball at an effective clip, but I feel like both squads are getting a lot of really solid looks. They're just not knocking them down. And so it's going to be whichever team can get hot and go on runs. Like we mentioned it, basketball is a game of runs, and it's going to be whoever can get out on a run and maintain that lead and just get something going offensively. But the looks they've gotten have been solid.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Ryan. And a few substitutions and most likely a media timeout. Here is number 24, Carter Thomas, and number 32, Torrent Hanna, check into this one. And you said it right there, 5.5 minutes of action, only 13 points total. A lot of good looks, just not able to knock down the tries. I wish we had the stat sheet in front of us, but I would have to say both teams already throwing up 8 or so three-point tries.
Yeah, not the way that the Blue Jays wanted to start this game with a lot of missed threes, but also not the way that the Eagles wanted to start this game, and that's why we're at the score of 7-6 through the first 5.5 minutes of play here. I mean, it's been an offensive nightmare for both squads, and I wouldn't even leave it to the fact that, oh, like they're playing bad or turning the ball over. It's just simply just not hitting shots and not being efficient on the offensive end, and a lot of missed three-pointers from both sides.
Yeah, both of these teams need to pick it up on the offensive pace. But the good thing is we're only a 1-point lead here for Johns Hopkins and the Blue Jays, as the Eagles of Wisconsin-La-Crosse will inbound, shoot some free throws here with 14:41 left to play.
And free throws are so important in a game like this, especially even though it's early on, and you know that both of these squads are going to start hitting. But when you just can't seem to get anything going on the offensive end, you got to knock down your free throws and take your free opportunities when you get them. And a good job and from Prater right there.
Yeah, J.J. Prater, the 6'8" junior, able to knock down both of them from the line, retaking the lead as Prater will head out for number 33, Griffin Ginder. And La-Crosse still sticking in their full court press. Thomas picking up number 5, Nick Klaber, from full court. And a quick whistle there. Foul called on Wisconsin-La-Crosse, number 24, Carter Thomas. Definitely kind of an exact opposite of what we saw in the first game, Ryan. Not a lot of fouls, not a lot of turnovers, but both of these teams pretty cold from the field.
Yeah, definitely the cold shooting night continuing here, but for either side, like we mentioned, it's both ways. So make it for a close-knit game of basketball. Wow. But, man, the Blue Jays are heating up. They've got a couple to fall now from behind the arc. We'll see if they can get that going and get on a run.
And Johansson, wow, in the face. Able to retake the lead, and he'll get the steal there. Brian Johansson, the senior, going the other way, kicks over to Windley. Johansson driving back to Windley, playing back and forth with it, driving double team across to the corner. Thought about it driving now. Opportunity. And Klaber goes up with it. An offensive foul on number 33, Will Stevenson. Number 5, Chris Green, bringing it up the floor for the Eagles. Over to Gender. And off back to Green, driving up. No and one, but 2 shots from the stripe.
Yeah, and if I'm the Eagles right now, the Blue Jays are giving us a lot of space just to attack and get into the lane and make something happen. I know that the shots haven't been falling from behind the arc, so maybe just getting 2 feet in the paint, just getting a paint touch, kicking it out, might open up maybe even opener look for some of those outside shooting, as well as opportunities to get downhill like we saw right there from Chris Green, just getting downhill, getting 2 feet in the paint, going up and getting fouled, and an opportunity to make something out of nothing right now, because on the offensive end, just swinging the ball around the top of the key is not really opening up a lot.
Love the take there, Ryan, and 1 for 2 from the line is Chris Green. Thought there was an opportunity to tie this one up, and we'll have J.J. Pater back into this one in the next dead ball for the Eagles. Hand off to Windley. Windley driving up and under, off the glass, no good. Rebound from Green. Shake and bake around Windley as he goes up. Charge there. Drawn by the Blue Jays. Now it'll be on number 24, Carter Thomas. His second already up to this point. Will Furman will also re-enter for the Eagles. Luke Thorburn and Charlie Jackson in for the Blue Jays. Klaber over to Windley. Felly at the elbow once again, passes over to Thorburn, 14 to shoot. Felly tried to backdoor cut, knocked up a little bit by Green, and that'll be a turnover. Ryan, it seems like this Johns Hopkins team is working out of Tonti Felly sitting on either one of the elbows.
Yeah, definitely trying to make that entry pass into Felly on the elbow and giving him space just to turn and make a decision, whether that's a backdoor cut from the opposite corner or a kickoff on the wing, just kind of trying to read the defense, but it's not really working here.
Yeah, not so far. It was working a little bit when they were trying to get those three-point opportunities. An offensive rebound for Green, kick out to Hannah, good from behind the arc. And finally, we get some scoring going here. An offensive press here, inbounded to Klaber. Sophomore out of Bloomington, Indiana. To Williams, once again working out of Felly, driving, kick out to the corner, thought about it from 3, ball fake. Jackson to the corner to Williams. 10 seconds to shoot. Jackson into Felly, 5. Oh, blocked there by number 13, J.J. Pater.
Good, Nick. Good, J.J.
And driving Pater. And 2 shots for J.J. Pater. And that'll be his second trip to the line so far. Number 22, Tonti Felly called. And that'll be our second media timeout for this one. And still not a bunch of scoring for both of these squads.
Yeah, I tell you what, we talked about in the last media timeout just about 5 minutes ago. We said, hey, we'd like to see some scoring, see a team get on a run, see a team get hot, but we're pretty much in the exact same spot we were when we started.
Yeah, you said it right there. 12-10 after a midway through half number 1. And kind of exactly the opposite. I kind of say that again, but the exact opposite of what we saw in game number 1. Obviously, the offensive explosion ending with 96 points were the Marietta College Pioneers. And right now sitting at 22 points total in half number 1. So both of these teams just trying to find their footing, trying to find a way to get comfortable in Van Noort Arena. Both of these teams getting ready to break out of the timeout, trying to draw up something, trying to get some hot hand shooting going, and possibly have an opportunity to get some momentum rolling, get some energy on the floor. We saw that out of Wagenfeld and a few of the Pioneers in the last game, but the energy is really lacking in this one. JJ Pater from the line. 2 to shoot. Can extend this lead. And he hits the first one, extending it to 3. Could get it to a 2-possession game here. And Ryan, Johns Hopkins has got to be careful. Already up to 4 fouls in half number 1. Only 2 more to give until Wisconsin-LaCrosse is in the bonus. Jackson working with Felly. Over to Thorburn. Thorburn guarded closely by Hodges. Jackson, deep try from
Bang!
Jeb Williams, finally knocking it down.
And I'll tell you what, that stroke, so pretty there from Jeb Williams. Off to a rough shooting start here in this one, but you knew it was just a matter of time until the shots started falling with him with that nice of a release.
Yeah, you know, like you said, it was only a matter of time because he kept on shooting, and finally hitting that one he was able to do, and poked in the eye was one of the LaCrosse players, I believe, number 32, Torin Hanna. So they'll get an inbound try. Now up to 5 fouls are the Blue Jays. Pater, fake handoff to Greiger. Pater driving against Felly. Spinning off the glass, no. Blocked by Felly and going the other way in transition now.
Really nice job there by Felly defending without fouling.
Yeah, very good job. A very good job on the block too, and some great defense there by number 13, JJ Pater. Just a little bit too tight around the back, and that one will get called. DeRusso and Siebert back in for the Eagles. Inbound opportunity here for John Winley on the near side. Finds Williams. Handoff back to Winley. Winley looking to drive, and that'll be an over and back call. No tip from the Eagles, 11 to shoot. Williams pressured closely by the Eagles, kick to the corner. It's 5 to shoot, driving, spinning off the glass, no good. And an offensive foul on the rebound. Number 1, Luke Thorburn, and that'll be his second of the afternoon, and he'll have to take a seat for Brian Johansson. Sam Greiger, the Randolph native, taking the ball at the floor, over to Pater. Greiger and Pater working together, finding Pater in the paint. Going against Felly once again, spinning, and off the glass, no good. Felly playing some good defense in the post right now. Johansson finding Felly, spinning, knocking down, and Pater going down. That'll be a foul there on Pater, his second. And he'll have to head off as Torin Hanna. Torin Hanna back in this one. Coach Ryan Kane calling for an intentional foul there.
Fellow Ryan.
3 Ryans on the floor here today at least. Thought he was going to go for the dunk, but a nice finesse there by Jeb Williams. To 7 points so far through this one. Pull-up jumper, good from number 15, Sam Greiger. And I don't know if you were looking, Ryan, but that was a turnover on the Blue Jays. I'm not completely sure what the call was.
Yeah, Williams stepped over the line as he was going to pass it. Went to pass, and then the place that he wanted to send the ball was no longer open, and accidentally stepped up, had a little foot fault over the line and turned it over.
That'll be a quick foul there on a driving Dustin DeRusso. And he'll have 2 shots to shoot there. Try to break the tie here. 9.5 left to play in half number 1. Not able to make the first 15s. We are knotted up at Ryan. Some nice alliteration there. Driving Dustin DeRusso, DDD. And knocking down his second and breaking the tie. And Wisconsin-LaCrosse leading 16-15. Losing it for a second was Williams, now driving Jackson. Johansson driving, spinning, off the glass, no good. Defensive rebound for Torrin Hanna. And wow, Greiger going up.
What a spin there. Able to get to the left and finish.
Love him keeping the ball away from the defense, throwing it off the glass and in. LaCrosse lead grows to 3. Jackson with it. Ball fake, 14 to shoot, spinning. This time off the glass, no good. Rebound from Furman. LaCrosse still moving quickly, trying to keep the momentum. DeRusso driving now. Off the glass, no good, rolls around the rim. Some contact, officials letting him play through a little bit of physicality here. Williams over Winley, Hopkins slowing it down. Winley from behind the arc, bang, and that's it. Lead no more, 18 at all here in Van Noord with 8 to play here in half number 1.
Gets his second triple to fall.
And an interesting shot there from DeRusso, kind of trying to throw something up, maybe draw a foul. It was not given. Williams driving. And hits into Max Sieber. That'll be a foul on number 44, the senior, his first of the evening. Julian Hodges will head back into this one for the Eagles. And Ryan, Coach JT Gritzmacher, not too happy with a few of the calls on his end, and then obviously getting a foul call quickly as Johns Hopkins was driving in there. Do you see, where he's coming from? What are you seeing in your perspective of kind of like the non-foul call, foul call? Is there a difference there, obviously?
I just think both of these squads are playing a very different brand of basketball, right? And I think that at times, when you got a team that's, running offense how LaCrosse is, not taking a lot of quick trigger shots and just really trying to get inside and had a majority of their success getting the basketball inside, there's going to be a different discrepancy in what an official is going to be able to call and what they're able to call than when you have a lot of run and gun on the separate side, or like the Blue Jays are, and getting a lot of fouls off of, offensive rebounds or insert here. So I think just the difference in the brand of basketball being played right now is kind of the bigger issue.
Yeah, I agree, Ryan, and a really good point there is Coach Gritzmacher still trying to discuss with the official there. So we'll see if kind of things start to change there, especially on Wisconsin-LaCrosse offensive side of the basketball. If we see a few more foul calls, obviously Wisconsin-LaCrosse already in the bonus, so any foul that they get on the floor or shooting will reward either a 1-and-1 or obviously just a regular shooting foul. As Hopkins pulls from the corner, no good. And both teams doing a really good job of defensively rebounding here tonight, Ryan. Obviously, we saw a lot of offensive rebounds in game number 1.
Ooh.
Wow, and spinning up and in. Wow, Sam Greiger doing a really good job at creating his own opportunities off the glass. Johansson finding Kleber. Windley with it, controlling traffic. Sends it over to Jackson. 13 to shoot, driving, pull-up jumper, just short. Offensive rebound, Johansson up, no call. Blocked there
and some
by
nice
Hodges.
hands from Hodges.
And a three-point try from the lefty. No good, offensive rebound. Taken away from Hodges. Originally, Windley had the offensive rebound, but some great tenacity there from Hodges to get it. And Greiger trying to pull up a little bit quickly. Not able to convert. And Wisconsin-LaCrosse has the lead at 2. Johansson over to Windley, poked away. And Kleber picks it up. 10 seconds to shoot now. Kleber driving. Corner. Windley to Kleber. 5 seconds. Kleber fouled there. Going up. 3 lacrosse players around. It looks to be one got ball, one got body, one got arm. So kind of mauled as he got into the paint. And shooting 2 now is Nick Kleber. And it looks like that one will go to Torin Hanna. His first on the afternoon. Kleber's first try is good. Coming into this one, Chris Green, as well as for the Blue Jays, Tonti Felly, the junior out of Scottsdale, Arizona. And both of these teams in the bonus now as Kleber nails his second. Ryan, we talked about it last game, basketball being a game of runs. It hasn't really felt like either team has got an opportunity to go on a run yet. Yeah,
and neither team has gone on a run yet, which is good news for both sides. If you're the Eagles and you haven't gone on a run yet, it's encouraging that the Blue Jays, as good of an offense and as many scoring threats that they haven't gone up and put on some points on their offensive end. And if you're the Blue Jays on the flip side, it's ditto. But if I'm the Blue Jays, I really, really, really want to do a better job of getting the ball in the hands of John Windley. I mean, coming into this game, averaging 22 points, you know he can score the basketball, and he's been efficient with his opportunities here today, knocked down a couple of triples. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Blue Jays look to see and try to get the basketball into his hands a little bit more.
I have like the defense on Windley, obviously coming in, knowing he's their main scorer. Obviously, you said it, a lot of points per game on the stat sheet, a lot of rebounds per game. So been guarding him very closely throughout the entirety of this one as Greiger goes 1 for 2 from the line, but just trying to limit his scoring as much as they possibly can as Johansson, again, mauled there as he goes in, tripped up, and he'll shoot 2. Both teams in the bonus now, and a lot of free throws to be had, it seems like. Just kind of a foul on each end of the floor and trading off free throws. Brian Johansson, first try off the rim and good. As number 3, Will Furman, the senior out of Reedsburg, checks back in for the high scoring Sam Greiger. And a little bit of a bird call trying to mess with the shooter out of Johns Hopkins, Ryan. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, that Blue Jay call got him locked in to knock down the knock down the free throw. A little bit of reverse psychology failing.
And both coaches not really very happy with the fouls being called up to this point. Felly catches his second one of the afternoon. And Ryan, it feels like we're just trading foul calls back and forth up to this point. We had a little bit more of a physical game, now kind of really trying to lock down on the physicality. Not sure if some of these are really total fouls, especially in a men's game here.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's pretty even. I mean, both squads into the bonus here, 9-7. Not a huge discrepancy in the way that it's being called here tonight. And a lot of free throws with both squads in the bonus even.
You said it right there, and Chris Green knocks down Bolt, takes it back. The lead out of the transfer out of Parkland College, junior college. And Chris Green guarding Kleber, and another foul. And Green draws Kleber draws the foul against Green. And Kleber will shoot 1-and-1 from the line. The sophomore out of Bloomington, Indiana. First try is good, so he'll get a second. All knotted up once again, 23 all. And Kleber's second try is good. 2 for 2 from the stripe. And LaCrosse trying to take the lead back. DeRusso looking to drive, a little bit of hesitation. Thought about a handoff, finding Siebert. Siebert driving, spinning up, blocked there. And just out there, off the hand of Stevenson.
Yeah, with 13 to shoot on the shot clock, plenty of time here for the Eagles to get a good look out of an out-of-bounds play.
Yeah, you said it right there, plenty of time. And DeRusso taking no time to drive to the back, up and under. And looking good there.
That's 7 for him, still looking to get going here.
All right, Ryan, looking for both of these squads. Ever since probably about 4 minutes in, we haven't seen much three-point try, and there it is, Brian Johansson. Taking the words right out of my mouth as he hits from 3.
Yeah, nice little step back triple right there from Johansson, putting his squad up 2.
Yeah, Ryan, I would not be surprised if Johns Hopkins gets hot or the LaCrosse Eagles as they shoot and bang.
Here we go.
Hannah.
Buckle up.
And I would not be surprised if both of these teams kind of revert back to where they were at the beginning of the game of feeding Torin for the Blue Jays and trying to bang from 3, but corner 3 opportunity, no good for Nick Kleber. Eagles in transition, back and forth, fake, up and in. That time for number 3, Will Furman. LaCrosse leading by 3 here. Everybody in the arena getting fired up. Finally some scoring, some energy out of these both squads. Steal here and taken out is number 32, Torin Hannah. Very smart foul there from Brian Johansson, trying to make Hannah earn that point there. And Griffin Ginder will check into this one. Media timeout once again. And Ryan, finally some offensive production out of both of these squads, hitting some tries from behind the arc. 3:42 left to play in half number 1, and we're finally getting up there to the 30-point margin for both of these squads.
Yeah, we are. We're getting up there, but slowly and steadily, like the tortoise and the hare. But we're getting there, that's for sure.
I think we might have 2 tortoises here in Van Noort Arena to start this one. But nonetheless, both of these teams trying to continue this hot streak, and would not be surprised, like I said, if they revert back to the three-point shooting a bunch, if they do start hitting from three-point range. And Wisconsin LaCrosse leading Johns Hopkins University by 3. Just under 4 minutes left to play in half number 1. And everybody make sure to stick with us at halftime. Our sports information specialist, Jeff Phoebus, will be having a special interview with D3 insiders here in the booth, where you guys can hear from him and more on all D3 sports in action. 2 shots, Wisconsin LaCrosse in the double bonus now. Torin Hannah sinks the first, extending the lead to 2 possessions. The senior out of Mount Horeb able to sink the second as well. 5-point lead for LaCrosse, the biggest up until this point. Jeb Williams loses it for a second. Guarded by Torin Hanna. Guarded closely. Wow, wide open opportunity in the corner. Missed it. Passing out to Johansson. Throwing up off the rim, no good. Initially offensive rebound taken away there by Chris Green. Doesn't have numbers going anyway. Pass back out. Floater try. Not able to hit. Johansson rebounds and gets it out to Windley. And Ryan, you know, you mentioned it earlier, Windley very quiet so far in half number 1. Windley gets a screen there from Stevenson. Driving now, loses it. Looking to throw it up, blocked. And Green now driving and plays it off the glass and in. 7-point lead. Coach Kane not happy for the Blue Jays, wanting a foul call. Williams thought about it from behind the arc, no. Johansson over to Jackson. Williams 13 to shoot. Driving now, has a lane off the glass and missed that one. Furman sending it over to DeRusso, slowing things up. Screen, step back, 3, no good. Rebound from Johansson. A very good separation there from DeRusso. And Brian Johansson hits the deck. He'll head to the line for a 1-and-1. Substitutions for the Eagles. Sam Greiger heads to this one as Chris Green heads off as well as number 33, Griffin Ginder, heading into this one. Johansson hits the first of the 1-and-1. Eagles lead down to 6. And Johansson 2 for 2 from the stripe. 5-point lead, 2 minutes left to play. Ryan, what do you want to see out of both of these squads as we close half number 1?
I just want to see someone get on a little bit of a scoring run here for this last 2 minutes of basketball. Knock down a couple shots, go into the second half with a little bit of momentum.
I totally agree, Ryan. And trying to drive there was DeRusso using his body, not able to draw the foul. Windley now driving, stolen away from DeRusso. DeRusso, open lane at first, kicks off, and a foul there, and he'll shoot 2. And wow, just a lot of fouls here. And Brian Johansson will pick up his second, the senior, out of White House Station, New Jersey. And he'll hit his first. Johansson with 2 fouls will come out. Luke Thorburn, the grad student out of Sugar Land, Texas, heading in. And the junior DeRusso hits his second free throw, 2 for 2, as he'll check off for number 0, Julian Hodges.
Good. Good. Julian, read again.
Williams now guarded by Furman. Will not be surprised if we see a 3-point try from Johns Hopkins. Williams driving in, lay off the rim and in. Williams up to 9 points on the evening. Greiger, guarded by Thorburn, driving. Pass out, could have been a travel there. And 3-point try from Ginder, good. And that's an 8-point lead here for the Eagles. And Ryan, that might have been some vacation time taken away there underneath the hoop, not called there by the officials. Thorburn kicks over to Stevenson. Windley driving. 20-second differential between the game and shot clock. Three-point try there. Jackson, no good. 5 seconds to shoot, didn't hit the rim. Lays off the glass, almost an and one. And Thorburn will shoot 2 from the line. Both teams in the double bonus. Julian Hodges picks up his first foul on the afternoon. 22 seconds left to play in half number 1, no more shot clock. Not able to hit the first. Is the grad student out of Texas. The 1 for 2 from the line is Luke Thorburn. A timeout from Coach Gritzmacher.
Yeah, Coach Gritzmacher wants to get another bucket, extend this lead going into the second half, feeling good.
Yeah, both of these squads kind of unable to score the ball at a high rate this half. What could be a double-digit lead if they're able to knock down a triple within these next 22 seconds, and really that could be huge in going into half number 2. Both of these teams definitely going to work on the three-point ball in between the half. Obviously, we saw the Dutchmen work on their three-point tries at halftime of game number 1 and came out shooting lights out. Kind of cooled off towards the end of the second half, not able to make the full comeback. But huge here for the LaCrosse Eagles to be able to hit any points and have an opportunity to go up by 9 or 10 instead of just 7.
Yeah, definitely.
And Ryan really would love to hear some YMCA here in the arena.
Oh, I could kill for some YMCA right now.
Sam Greiger heading it up, starting things off at 15 seconds. And now a timeout from Ryan Kane as the turnover from the Eagles. And you know, Ryan, we were just talking about this, extending the lead, but we could be cutting down this lead. Hopkins could really get it anywhere from 4 to 5 point deficit here and could totally change this one.
Yeah, this could be a completely different look, different dynamic going into half number 2. Depending on how Hopkins comes out, would expect them to try to get the basketball in the hands of John Windley.
Yeah, you know, he's been pretty quiet up to this point in the half number 1. Obviously been guarded very closely by this entire Eagles squad, but nobody's shooting at a high percentage so far. Their highest shooter right now is Jeb Williams, obviously getting a lot of his points driving into the paint. Would not be surprised if they start out with Windley. If he can get a shot, have him take it, but would not be surprised if either Windley or Charlie Jackson, the junior, end up taking this final shot. And John Windley, 9 seconds to shoot, starts out with this one. Driving into the paint, 5 to shoot. Goes up, gets the easy foul. And love the play call there from Coach Ryan Kane, Ryan, the officials. A lot of fouls up to this point. Your team's not shooting at a high percentage. Get the foul call, get 1, 2 easy points heading at halftime.
Yeah, and Windley pretty automatic from the free throw line, so good job by him getting downhill, just getting to the basket and getting fouled and getting himself at a position where he can shorten this lead going into the second half.
And maybe needing to knock on some wood over here in the booth for you Johns Hopkins fans, and as John Windley not able to hit his first, the Brentwood, Tennessee native and senior. Looking for number 2, 4 seconds to shoot. As he'll sink his second. Ball goes over here to Hodges. Hodges throws it up with a lot of time left. Not able to hit, and that'll do it for half number 1. 6 point deficit for the Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays, and the University of Wisconsin-La-Crosse doing a really good job at scoring the basketball here to end half number 1. And folks, like we were mentioning, stick with us at halftime for the interview from Jeff Phoebus with D3 Insiders.
All right, as mentioned, Jeff Phoebus, Sports Information Director at Calvin University, and I am joined by Zach Snyder, one of the two fine Snyder brothers that team up for the D3 Datacast and are here as part of our D3 Hoops coverage here. And Zach, great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about how the D3 Datacast came to be.
Yeah, as you said, it's something I do with my brother. Matt and I are both Calvin graduates and became big Calvin basketball fans in our time here. And, you know, during that time, we were here the last time Calvin made a Final Four run, and we were able to follow the team through the tournament and really gain an appreciation for the national picture of Division III basketball. And, you know, in our years following our time at Calvin, we continue to follow it. Matt got really involved in you know, tracking some of the winning percentage and strength of schedule numbers that went into the previous tournament selection process, and then you know, developing kind of a Ken Pom style efficiency ratings for Division III. Yep. And, you know, he'd been tracking that for a while, and I think as half a joke, he said, "Hey, what if we turn this into a YouTube show?" And I don't think he thought I would agree to it, and I did, and the rest is history. So now we're in our third year covering Division III, you know, in terms of the national landscape, and then you know, watching a bunch of games, but, you know, taking kind of a data-driven approach to following the game.
Well, and you obviously have a passion, both you and your brother, for numbers. So where did that come from, and, you know, ultimately, how did you channel that into this basketball breakdown, especially at the D3 level?
Yeah, well, as we said, we're both Calvin graduates. We both went through the engineering program here, and currently, you know, work as mechanical engineers. But as a hobby, you know, we take that data-driven mindset and numbers mindset and try to, you know, apply it to building some context to what we see in Division III basketball. You know, especially just to try to make sense of, you know, how teams across the country might match up to each other. And it's been pretty successful with the way we've done it. And, you know, we have some fun on our show every week. We've got a slate of 5 games that we pick against the efficiency rating
NCAA Power Index. It's very heavily weighted toward victories and some other things. How have you seen things shift as far as how teams have to strategize when it comes to perhaps scheduling down the road, and, you know, what you're trying to do over the course of the season if you want to put yourself in the picture for an at-large or even have a top seed, even if you get that AQ? I mean, we just went through the first NCAA Power Index system in the fall sports here. So what have you seen with all of that?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I think what we've seen as we've applied NPI to previous seasons, we think that it will do a fairly decent job for men's basketball. I think the way that it works will do a better job of rewarding some wins that were not rewarded necessarily in the previous system that was very based on regional rankings. Of course, Calvin being in this Great Lakes region, the Region 7, there's always, you know, really good teams on the outside of the regional rankings that, you know, never showed up as one of those good wins that you're looking for as a win against a regionally ranked opponent. So if you're, you know, it might be the 8th or 9th best team in Region 7. That's a really good team. You know, they'd probably get ranked in a lot of other regions, but you wouldn't get credit for it in the old system. Now, you know, up and down the lineup, you'll get, you know, rewarded more appropriately. You know, as we've seen it work out in football, I don't know that, you know, football is just an odd beast with just 10 games. You have very limited, or in some conferences, you have non-existent non-conference play. So there's maybe some problems there, but I think in terms of how it's going to work out in the basketball landscape, we'll get to the end of the season and we'll look at how it's seeding teams and how it's selecting teams and be like, yeah, those teams are all pretty deserving. Yeah.
So if you were advising a D3 coach on how to schedule for next year or the year after that, what would be certain things that you would say, hey, take this into consideration when you're strategizing your schedule?
Yeah. You know, it's tough. We'll see a little bit more as this first year plays out. But, I mean, I think it's going to be important to have really good wins on your resume. You know, there might be a little bit more risk in playing those type of games if you do lose it, but you will, you know, receive a nice reward for winning that type of game. So we'll have to see. Maybe there's some coaches that are okay with that risk-reward proposition and some that maybe want to look for some easier wins. But, you know, as we've talked to coaches that have been interested in it and try to pick our brains and just to talk about their scheduling philosophy, coaches that have really good teams, regardless of the selection system, want to challenge their teams. They think they've got a tournament quality team. You know, you don't want to be seeing another tournament quality team for the first time in March, right? You want to get those tests early. And so I think to some extent, coaches will still be looking for really good games like you can get at an event like this. But it'll be interesting to see. There might be a little bit of shifting as different coaches make different decisions about how they feel that risk-reward proposition plays out.
What are your thoughts been on this tournament so far, the matchups? I mean, we've had a few blowouts here, but, you know, some really talented teams, too.
We have, you look at the blowouts that have taken place. I mostly think it's, the case of a team playing really, really well. We saw that with LaCrosse yesterday against Marietta. Super impressive. It was a 56-point first half. And then Marietta flipping the script earlier today on Hope. I think they put up 55 on their own on Hope there in the first half. They were 9 of 11 from 3. So a big margin, but Marietta was really good. LaCrosse was really good yesterday. Hopkins got off to a great start against John Carroll yesterday. I don't know that it's poor play. It's just we've had a couple teams have some really, really like Final Four level performances.
Yeah. Well, pretty good day for Wisconsin lacrosse so far. Just noticed that they had a 59-14 first-round playoff football win over Northwestern Minnesota. So speaking of football, I think you did a little bit of work with the Detroit Lions, had some type of blog or whatever going there for a while. Am I mistaken on that?
No, you're correct. So Matt and I both have a little bit of blogging background that has kind of helped us as we've gotten into the YouTube side. So it's a little bit different content form, but from just a kind of online content perspective, we have some history with that. Actually, I'm currently involved more on the editor side with prideofdetroit.com, and had been involved in some other sites in the past. So it's been a lot of fun being a Lions fan.
I was going to say, exciting year for the Lions.
Absolutely.
As a lifelong Lions fan, I always have to hold a little bit of, I don't know if it's doubt or whatever, but my first vivid memories are that 1980 team. Another one bites the dust, and they were like 6-2, 7-2, and then lost a whole bunch at the end and missed the playoffs. And that Thanksgiving game they always show where the Bears run the opening kick of the overtime back for the touchdown, Davey Williams. So that's always deep within my soul as a Lions fan. So this would be awesome if this was the year, but I'll believe it when I see it, So I'm trying not to get too far out in front of my skis as a Lions fan. So where can we find the D3 Datacast online?
Yeah, I think the easiest place is just to head to d3datacast.com, and you can kind of find everything there. But, we have a presence on Twitter throughout the basketball season, especially tweeting about games and different things happening in Division III. But our primary content source is on YouTube. You can just search YouTube for D3 Datacast and find us. But like I said, d3datacast.com. We make a blog post out of every episode we do. We have some other, that's where you'll find the efficiency ratings that Matt updates every day. We're running NPI numbers every day. That's all right there. And then other links to anywhere else you can find us on social media. Outstanding. Well, I can tell you, Calvin graduates doing some awesome things in their spare time. That's right. And also in their full time and their regular jobs. But it's been great to have you by, Zach. And we'll look forward to talking to your brother here during the next halftime segment. Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jeff. Yep. That's Zach Snyder from D3 Datacast. We'll be talking to his brother, Matt, during our next halftime segment, and then Bob Quillman during halftime of the Kelvin St. John's game. So we'll take a little break, and we'll be back with more.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
Other financial institutions may do a couple things well, but in our experience over the past decade, Lake Michigan Credit Union has done all of the things well.
LMCU has been there for every stage of my life.
I don't think I'd be in the same position if it wasn't connected to LMCU.
I know where my money is. I know what I can spend. I know what I'm able to do.
And that's an amazing experience to have. In terms of customer service, LMCU is top-notch. You're not going to find a better place to bank.
Applied Innovation is excited to celebrate more than 35 years of helping our customers grow. Starting as a printer, copier, and fax dealer, Applied has evolved into a complete office technology provider to include managed IT services and workflow automation.
What sets Applied apart is really our why. That's at our core. A passion for service, for people, for business. If we're at service to one another, then we can take great care of the customer. Happy people take great care of customers, and we just happen to sell technology.
The best part of grad school would be the connections that you
I don't feel alone in the program.
I just really feel like each individual in the program gets.
At Calvin, our faith in God and pursuit of excellence drives us. Our new soccer stadium reflects that commitment, offering a premier space for our student athletes to compete on and off the field. Whether you're an athlete, a summer camper, or a spectator, join our community of Knights at Calvin University.
Mosquitoes outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs with strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow. Reach out to Russ Klausing today at 312-458-4523.
This year has definitely changed my world. I'm making an impact here. It feels good to know every day that I'm growing in my abilities that I love, which is film, and I'm also growing as a believer in faith.
I'm really thankful that I was able to do work in my field during school, at school, and that has given me the confidence to move forward with doing my own independent work and getting to put my foot in that door before I even graduate. I don't think I would have found elsewhere.
This is the Gainey Track and Field Complex. There are innovative features that set Calvin's facilities apart from other universities. First, the space joins a small number of dedicated track and field facilities in NCAA Division III. This means that we don't share with football, lacrosse, soccer, any other team. Our throwing facility is adjacent to the main track. Everything is right here in one location. It's all about track and field all the time.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs with strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow. Reach out to Russ Klausing today at 312-458-4523.
Welcome back, everybody, to beautiful Van Noort Arena, home of the maroon and gold. Today, some second half action between the Eagles of Wisconsin-La-Crosse and the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins University. Ryan, a little bit of a slow start to the first half and a little bit of a quick finish. Looking at the stat sheet, it doesn't look that far off, from a regular game. Obviously, we saw the really slow start, but only four turnovers apiece, even on the rebound margins, even for the three-point percentage, just kind of even all around.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that jumps out on the stat sheet is Wisconsin-La-Crosse obviously up 6 here, 39-33, but they're shooting the basketball overall from the field, 12 for 29 at a 41.4% clip from the field, and then John Hopkins 9 for 34, 26.5%. So the Eagles better watch out if the Blue Jays come out, get it going, and start shooting at even an average clip, let's say 40 to 45%. This game could look very different here in the second half. I think that the Eagles are going to have to play their best basketball. I would be surprised if the Blue Jays shoot as poor as they did in half number one here in half number two. So we'll see if that running gun offense that the John Hopkins Blue Jays have been running.
Yeah, I agree, Ryan. And looking forward to the stats, obviously, again, 16 tries from the free throw line and 12, respectively, for the Eagles and for the Blue Jays. and double points for the Eagles. 16 points in the paint to only John Hopkins, 8 points in the paint. So let's see if the Eagles will continue to pound the paint here in half number 2 as we get things going. Driving to the paint is Pater, kicking out, looking for Siebert, spinning off the glass, no good, and grabbing the rebound. And Coach Gritschmacher really wanted that one to go in to start half number 2. Windley over to Felly. Once again, handoff, trying to get Windley a little bit more involved. Williams back to Windley, 9 to shoot. Felly, fake handoff. Pull-up jumper from Windley, no good. Rebound grab by Pater. Greiger with it at the top of the key. Gets it in, no handoff. Pater driving against Felly, back turned. Looking to spin, some help defense, spinning. Blocked there by Johansson. Williams back to Fellow. Johansson all the way back around, playing with Felly. Over to Williams. Williams triple teamed. Out to Felly, 12 to shoot. Felly backing down in the paint, throws it up off the glass, not able to convert. Coach Gritschmacher told him to slow things down. Furman with it. Driving off the screen from Siebert. DeRusso driving, step back, three-point try, no good. Rebound from Furman, back out to Greiger to Furman, 3, good. And a 9-point lead there from LaCrosse.
Yeah, Furman stepping into that one with some confidence, letting it fly. Pure shooting stroke there, finding the bottom of the net.
And an official stoppage quit right there, Ryan. I'm not sure exactly what that one was about, but nonetheless, it's good to see three-point try get buried early on. Felly with it, handoff to Johansson, driving, blocked by Siebert. Out of Fond du Lac. DeRusso, screen from Pater, back out to the corner. 3, no good, just off the rim, and Ryan thought that one was good as it went behind the official's head from me. And the Blue Jays slowing things down. Windley, handoff to Jackson. Jackson up, blocked there by DeRusso, and that'll be a foul. Just getting the hands a little bit too much, and 2 shots for him. DeRusso's second foul of the evening.
Yeah, and these Blue Jays have got to get something going in the offensive end. They're able to hang around a little bit just by doing the little free throw thing and knocking down a couple shots here and there, but they've got to get on a run. They've got to get hot offensively.
Yeah, Ryan, obviously it's been pretty clear they're not able to convert in the paint at a high percentage, but they have not been trying to shoot and attempting to shoot the three-point shot as much as we did see at the very beginning of the first half. And as soon as things kind of started to fall from behind the arc, we saw some more tries in the paint, more tries driving in off the dribble. I'd love to see them go back to a little bit more of the outside shooting, especially since Williams and Windley starting to heat up a little bit on the floor. And both of the free throws buried. And I'm not sure how an illegal screen was called on the defense. But it looks like Will Furman will be over at the trainer's table. Possibly some blood. Getting the court cleaned up. Over here, obviously we had some bodies on the floor.
Yeah, you can just hear it, and Coach Kane arguing with the officials. The frustration for this Blue Jays squad is very, very present.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the illegal screen call, but on the defense. I'm not a basketball expert, but definitely haven't heard that one before. As now we got Greiger driving in, 9 to shoot. Step back, off the rim and in. Nice little touch there.
Yeah, and a really
As
nice.
He tells Jeb Williams he's a little too short for that.
Yeah, really nice mid-range jumper there from the Eagles, responding with a bucket.
And the Blue Jays trying to get some response of their own. Felly with it on the elbow. Over to Winley, wide open, 3! Nothing but net.
And nobody near him. You could just tell as soon as he caught it, everyone on the Eagles bench just put their heads down knowing that that one was automatic.
And not a lot of times do you miss a wide open 3, step back jumper, 4-point play for Sam Greiger. And wow.
Oh, anything you can do, I can do better.
Wow. And a step back, possibly 4-point play.
Splash.
And wet like water. Sam Greiger, the sophomore out of Randolph, trying the 4-point play here at the line. Able to convert the free throw, also nothing but net, a high arcing shot. The lead for the Eagles, now 10. Windley with it. Passing into Williams at the elbow. Driving, looking for the spin up and under. Not able to convert, offensive rebound for Thorburn. Stevenson with it, handoff to Jackson. Jackson loses it for a second, 8 to shoot. And a foul there called on Max Siebert, the senior.
Getting a little handsy down low, a little bit physical.
Yeah, a lot of physical play. Love to see it here in Van Noort. That'll be his second of the evening here. Eagles lead still at 10 points as Torin Hanna checks into this one. And we'll have our first media timeout of half number 2.
And Coach Kane still arguing with the officials. I don't know how much more of this these officials are going to take. He's been barking at him quite a bit here all game long. So we'll see if a technical foul is in order if he keeps up that type of spirit. But man, oh man, the frustration, it's warranted here based on the way his team's been playing. I mean, goodness gracious, the Blue Jays cannot get anything going offensively. And it's kind of been frustrating and tough to watch even from the booth.
Yeah, it has been, Ryan. Obviously, we saw John Winley be able to hit there from behind the arc, the Brentwood, Tennessee native. But really, that's been it for the Blue Jays, especially in this second half, only knocking down 5 points total, and a lot of those coming on the free throws, and they've just got to continue to try for that because they have been getting nothing going in the paint. They've been cold from behind the arc up until the point where Winley was able to knock that one down, and then everything in the paint, the University of Wisconsin-La-Crosse has really been dominating down there.
An opportunity here out of bounds for the Blue Jays. Got to convert here, Ryan.
Yeah, I would love for them to convert. Obviously, resetting the clock to 20 seconds. Windley now with it, driving, double team, spinning. Kicks out to Jackson. 10 to shoot. Finding Stevenson. Stevenson handoff to Williams. Pull-up jumper. Good from the field. Jeb Williams.
And such a smooth stroke. I would just love to see the Blue Jays continue to get Williams involved, but even more so get Winley and Williams playing off of each other. Such great scoring threats. As Furman with a nice backdoor cut, but
wow, I am not. I feel like Charlie Jackson was over near the trainer's booth, Ryan. And knocking down his first is Will Furman. And Furman 1 for 2. And snagging the rebound is John Windley. Williams Passing off to Windley. Ryan, I'd love to see a few more opportunities from three. Obviously, since the cold start at the beginning, the Blue Jays not shooting a bunch from behind the arc.
Well, if they can get offense like that, I like the idea of them bringing the basketball inside, then looking for kickouts. But if you can get layups and attack like that, which proven to do there, let's keep doing it.
A charge there, drawn by Luke Thorburn. And some great defense. Getting the bucket on the way down was Luke Thorburn, drawing the charge on the way back, and Charlie Jackson checks out for number 2, Logan Feller. Full court press once again for the Eagles. Windley taking it up for the Blue Jays. 7-point deficit right now. Stevenson over to Thorburn, back to Windley. Windley driving, pick and roll, up, off the glass and in, and one.
And that's exactly the type of offense and the adjustment that these Blue Jays needed to make is get the basketball inside, pound it, pound it, pound it in. These Eagles aren't bigger than you. Take it right to them in the paint. Open up the paint. Let the paint open up the outside for you rather than forcing these outside shots.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ryan. And it seems like they're much more controlled in their attempts in the paint. Obviously, last half, it was really just throwing up opportunities, throwing up shots to try to draw that foul. Now it's going in there with a purpose as he knocks down the three-point play. And the deficit creeps down to 4. Is Chris Green.
Get the basketball inside, get 2 feet in the paint, and good things usually tend to happen.
And it does, and Williams there with a block. Green able to get the rebound, kicked out to DeRusso from 3. No good. And Williams gets the rebound, pushing in transition. Driving in, and fouled there from Torin Hanna.
And these officials starting to call it tight. Any little contact getting called. I mean, Coach Kane's been worked up for quite some time, so maybe voicing that frustration has earned him a couple of calls, a couple cheap ones.
Yeah, could have, Ryan. And now Wisconsin-Lacrosse already up to 5 fouls, 1 foul to give. Windley now. Kick over to Williams. Thought he might have had an opportunity for 3. Pullback jumper. Air ball.
Air ball. Air ball.
And no, that one will be tipped by the Lacrosse Eagles. And Windley inbound, 15 to shoot. Finding Stevenson on the paint, hook try, no good.
I like that pounding the basketball inside right there, but man, don't fade away. Go towards the hoop, Stevenson.
And Green going up, and it looks like he a little shaking up on the way down. That'll be called on Luke Thorburn.
We're gonna have a couple of free throws right here.
We got a draft here in the booth. I don't know, all of our papers keep going flying. I don't know, we don't have any sort of fans up above us, but maybe somebody's blowing from the stands.
It's all that steam blowing over here from Coach Kane, all that yelling, causing these papers to fly. It's starting to make its way. He's creating that draft.
And we'll see Luke Thorburn, the scorer, head off. Nick Klaber head on. Jeb Williams off.
And I'll tell you what, Ryan, we've been waiting for somebody to make a run here tonight. And the fact that the Blue Jays, without really making a run, without playing their best basketball offensively, are still within 5. It's a good spot to be in entering these last 13. Let's hope they've been saving their makes, and hopefully a lot of them.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. Both
for
of these
this
squads,
last 13.
Yeah, both of these squads not scoring at a percentage that they would like to. And really just need to get some offense rolling, and it has been in half number 2. Just need to keep it going. Driving the paint is Windley, spinning and scoring. A floater on in.
And love it. Getting 2 feet in the paint, spin move, looking, finding his space and time to go up and finishing right there.
A very good job at that. And Green trying to cut off of Pater. Turning his back to Stevenson, spinning. Throws it up. No call. Johannesson.
And it seemed to be, since starting the second half, the Blue Jays scoring the basketball better. It's been getting the basketball in the hands of John Windley. Their leading scorer this season, like we mentioned, at 22 points per game, but getting it to him and good things have happened, and allowing him to do so has created a couple of opportunities.
And a foul there on Julian Hodges, his third foul of this one, and we'll have an inbound opportunity. Next one will send the Blue Jays to the line, and almost stolen there from DeRusso. Blue Jays are able to retain possession, 11 to shoot. Stevenson with it over to the corner. No good off the rim. Green picks up the rebound. DeRusso with it, looking to drive, he does. Kicks out, and a foul there on John Windley. Shoulder contact. That'll be his second of the afternoon. Still one foul to give for the Blue Jays. Green will inbound underneath his own hoop, get it to DeRusso. DeRusso spinning, possibly a fade try underneath the hoop, and a foul against Windley. And Ryan, they need to let these guys play a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of foul calls. We're one foul. Next foul for either side. We're going to be in the bonus, shooting the rest of the way here with 12 minutes to play.
Ryan, it just feels like these referees aren't allowing any sort of physicality at all. Like any body contact, any contact at all in the paint is an automatic call, and anybody's going to the free throw line at this point. DeRusso knocks down his first and hits his second, 2 for 2 from the line. Inbound to Windley, full court press still from the Eagles. Johns Hopkins down 6. Windley over to Stevenson. Windley now driving, looking for an up and under, dribbles around, turnover, DeRusso in transition, numbers, gets it up and under, off the rim. Not able to put it in transition, Ryan, and a huge miss from the Eagles. An immediate timeout here with 11:35 left to play, but wow, what a miss.
Yeah, you know, that just happens sometimes in transition, but if you're the Eagles, I'm not really focused and concerned about the miss, but it's someone's got to be there to fill the lane and follow and try to get that offensive rebound for a second chance opportunity.
Yeah, Ryan, Charlie Jackson, Jeb Williams entering back in, the junior, sophomore respectively, back into the game for the Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays. 2 high scorers and really moving the ball around well on their offensive half of the ball. Would love to see the Blue Jays continue to pound the paint like you were talking about, and until the Eagles really stop them in the paint, then you could kick out for the 3-point try and really try to gain this lead, or chip away at this lead, excuse me. Ryan really just trying to wait for his YMCA over here. Hopefully we can get in game number 2. I'm not sure if the Jason's over there listening to us with the music, but I'm sure you would love to groove to some YMCA here in the booth.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be electric. Maybe some of the energy that this arena needs, getting the people bumping. Moving into this last 11:35 to play.
And inbounding with the full court press, Johansson, the senior, out of New Jersey. Gets it in to Jeb Williams, guarded by Green. Double team now, just get it past half court. Johansson to Williams, 20 seconds to shoot. And a Stevenson foul there, a charge. That'll be his 3rd of the game. Tonti Felly coming back into this one. Only 2 points for Felly so far, 3 fouls, so he's got to be careful on the floor with 11 minutes left to play. Green, pull-up jumper, good.
Smooth pull-up on the baby J right there from the elbow.
And Ryan, I have really been impressed with every single one of these teams today in the Great Lakes Invitational, just pulling up and fading from mid-range jumpers. Automatic here at Van Noord today.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier in that first game, that mid-range jump shot, when executed, is the prettiest shot in basketball.
I would not disagree with you, Ryan. And The Blue Jays have got to get something going. 5 seconds to shoot, driving in as Jackson trying to throw something off. Tonti gets an offensive rebound and in, and that'll be his fourth.
And the big fella, aisle cleanup duty right there with the putback.
Man, he got up there too. I thought he might have thrown it down there for a second and just hooking around that one and laying it in. Lead still at 6 for the Eagles. DeRusso over to Hannah. Backdoor cut from Green. In, guarded by Jeb Williams, and a foul there. Drawn by Green, he'll go to the line. And that one will be given to Jeb Williams, the sophomore, his first of the afternoon. Two shots for Green, not able to put away his first. Chris Green, the senior out of Milwaukee, transfer from Parkland Community College. And sinking his second, 1 for 2 from the stripe. 7-point lead for Wisconsin-La-Crosse.
Yeah, really crucial there to go 2 for 2 from the line. Well done.
Windley with it now. Dribbling around the top of the key, gives off to Felly, driving in. Reach-in call there from DeRusso. And he'll head to the line to shoot his 1-and-1. Now in the bonus is Johns Hopkins, and number 13, JJ Pater, is who that foul goes to. That'll be his third on the evening. Max Siebert in for Pater, and Furman for Torin Hanna. One after the other. Coming to the booth is Sam Geiger in for Chris Green. Felly's 1-and-1 try, no good. Boarded by DeRusso, Toma Jr. Driving in is Greiger off the glass, bouncing around a little bit, no good.
Almost a scoop and a score there, but just a little bit off.
Just a little bit, and another foul on Tonti Felly, and that'll be his fourth of the afternoon. Luke Thorburn, the graduate, coming back in for Felly as his time was short-lived out there. LaCrosse, 9 fouls. So not in the double bonus yet. 1-and-1 try for Siebert, no good. Boarded by Thorburn. Windley with it. Screen from Johansson. Pull-up jumper from Windley. 3-point try, good.
And Windley doing such a great job of just setting his own pace, not allowing the defense to speed him up, and just really playing at the pace of play that he wants.
Air ball there from number 0, Hodges. And I believe a jump ball, which will be in favor of Johns Hopkins. Big opportunity here for the Blue Jays to cut this down to a 1-possession game, Ryan.
Wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that hot hand of Windley.
And right now, Windley with it. Guarded by Furman. Still got a bunch of time, 9 minutes left to play as he drives in, off the glass and in. And wow, Ryan, just dominant there. And a warning there for John Windley, the senior. And did you catch what that was for, Ryan?
Yeah, it's a delay of game warning. I disagree with that call. He ended up with the basketball after it came through the net and threw it to the official.
And DeRusso now on the other end, driving, spinning, up and under, not able to get it. Loose ball, boarded by Hodges as Thorburn goes flying. DeRusso driving once again, straight up. And again, fouls continue to be called. And that one will go against Brian Johansson. And that'll be his fourth, a huge blow for the Blue Jays. And now Logan Feller, the freshman out of Glencoe, Illinois, will probably be checking in for Johansson. Torrin Hanna, the senior, also to check in for the Eagles. Able to sink his first is DeRusso. Pater checking in. Hodges and Siebert head out. DeRusso the ability to bring this back to a 2-score game. Charlie Jackson checks off, as well as Luke Stevenson on for the Blue Jays, the New York native. DeRusso sinks the second. And right now, if you're the Eagles, Ryan, just continue to drive to the paint. You're getting a foul call almost every time in there from these officials right now. Williams driving in, up off the glass, no good. Rebound to Williams in the corner. Not able to hit. Greiger, the sophomore around Williams. Up, trying to lay it off the glass. Not able to convert. Both teams going in transition right now. Windley, high score for the Blue Jays. Getting into Stevenson. Finding Windley. Windley from downtown. No good. And Thorburn got nailed in the face there by the ball. And a turnover stolen by Greiger. 7.5 left to play. Johns Hopkins trailing by 4. Greiger over to DeRusso. DeRusso downtown, bang! Wow, DeRusso from distance. And that lead goes up to 7 here in Van Noord.
DeRusso making him pay there. Guarded by Windley. Windley went under the ball screen. And if you leave a good shooter like DeRusso unattended and go under the screen, DeRusso doing exactly what he's supposed to, letting it fly there and finding nothing but net. Man, surprised Windley elected to go under the screen there. I think he was just a little bit tired off of how much he's been exerting himself on the offensive end. But Windley and Williams and the rest of the supporting cast for the Blue Jays are going to have to pick it up, because, man, if these Eagles keep answering the phone the way they have, I mean, the Blue Jays have done much better to sequence offensively, get in their rhythm, get to their get good shots, and a huge piece of that's by getting the ball in the hands of John Windley. I mean, he's got 18 here. And if Williams can step up and start hitting as well, I mean, man, a lot of pretty looks from him, a lot of good looks. He's slashed and gotten inside and finished, but that outside touch, that outside shot just hasn't been there. So a great shooter, hoping if you're a Blue Jays fan that he can start hitting, start knocking those down. And
yeah, huge there if he can start hitting those. And it's really been interesting to see, even though Windley and Williams are starting to heat up a little bit out there on the floor, not a lot of three-point tries as we did see at the very beginning of the game. As ball gets inbounded to Williams, past one defender, and he'll pull things up just as he gets past half court. Stevenson with it outside the perimeter. Hand off to Thorburn. Thorburn out to Williams. Driving in, back out to Thorburn. Shot fake, driving up, off the rim. Not able to convert once again. 7 minutes left to play. Furman slowing things up. Over to Pater. Bunch of space. Driving in on Stevenson, up and off the glass, no good. And man, Pater has had a bunch of those, Ryan, just laying it too hard off the glass. Windley driving around, shot blocked there. It looked to be by Torrin Hanna. DeRusso carrying it up the floor. Time continues to tick away for the Blue Jays. Pass off to J.J. Pater not able to convert, but gets the foul call. And another immediate timeout here in Van Noord, and 6:12 left to play, 61-54, and if you're a Blue Jays faithful, you got to get some stuff going on the offense.
Definitely got to get something going on the offensive end, and coming out of that timeout, a couple of really, really poor shots. A couple of forced shots. Shots not within the rhythm of an offense whatsoever, and it just looked ugly, not to sugarcoat. And that's just been a common theme tonight. Although it's been better, it still just hasn't been great. And if the Blue Jays can somehow find a way to make some magic happen in this last 6 minutes, it's going to be a motivating win. Because, man, did you not play your best basketball and you beat a really, really good team? And on the flip side of that, if you're the Eagles of Wisconsin-LaCrosse, I mean, you can take this victory. If you're able to hold this out and just continue, you can take that as, hey, like, we disrupted one of the best offenses in the country, and we did a darn good job in doing it. And we played in a place that's in an environment that's empty, nobody here, not a lot of energy. We created our own energy. We brought our own energy, and we went and won a hard basketball game on the road against a very good opponent.
Yeah, both of these teams looking to go 2-0 on the weekend. Definitely whichever team able to do that, it'll be a very nice bus ride all the way home. And Pater, his first try, not good. The junior out of Neenah. Second try. Good from the stripe. 1 for 2 once again. Pretty common theme in this second half. Windley now carrying the ball. Gets disrupted for a second from Hannah. Felly in this one with 4 fouls. Got to be careful. Hand off to Williams. Williams from 3. No good. Just a little long. DeRusso carrying it up, taking his time. And Pater would not be surprised if he would shoot one of these from the perimeter one of these times, just given a bunch of space by the entirety of the Blue Jays defense. And try no good. Johansson with 4 fouls, driving in, up, blocked there. And going the way of the Blue Jays. Just over 5 left to play, looking up at the scoreboard. Some big time scorers. DeRusso with 16 for the Eagles. And Windley with 20 for the Blue Jays. And Ryan, it has not felt like 20 for Windley, but he's been really racking them up.
It's been a quiet 20, but it's been a 20 that when the Blue Jays have needed him to stay in this game, he's provided.
100% agree, Ryan. And another turnover here by the Blue Jays, and you just cannot do that when you're trying to get back into the game. DeRusso now trying to extend his team high points. Furman off to Greiger. Greiger driving, kick back out. Wow, wide open try, nothing. Thought Pater might try. Greiger does just miss. Offensive rebound for Pater. Greiger now with it, 4.5 left to play. Hopkins got to get some things rolling now, Ryan. Time continues to tick off. Three seconds to shoot, up and under, off the glass and in.
And good patience there by Pater.
Yeah, we've seen Pater laid off the glass a few times, a little bit too hard, but this time able to find it. Nice little equilibrium point and throw it off the glass and in. 4 minutes left to play, driving in Johansson off of the Eagles defense.
Equilibrium point right there. Extensive vocabulary. Showing that Calvin Knight education off.
And maybe we'll go back to the math, Ryan, and we could see you excel at some more math problems here with the time. Unfortunately, we're in the second half and not able to see how much longer we're playing, but
well, I can tell you
what
I can tell you is I can tell you that basket. I'll do my math. It created this lead of 10 points now, and so the Blue Jays got a lot of work to do here with just under 4 minutes left. Excuse me.
Yeah, you know, Ryan, just the Blue Jays have just been turning the ball over these past few minutes. It's not like they had to rush. They had 8, 9, 10 minutes left to play. They were only down by 6 points. And really, every single possession has felt rushed. They've felt like they're forcing the ball in the paint. And really, the Eagles are doing a lot on their side, but they're not doing a lot at a quick pace. So you had an opportunity to try to get the three-point shot working. You had an opportunity to maybe try to get the mid-range working. And you haven't been. You've just been trying to force it into the paint, and it's not working.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I'm the Blue Jays, I'm running play number 1, which is get the ball to John Winley and get the heck out of the way if you're not number 10. And I'm setting a ball screen. I'm doing whatever. I just want the basketball in his hands here down the stretch, and hopefully he can make something happen, especially with Jeb Williams having such a brutal shooting night.
Yeah, 100% agree, Ryan. And Winley to inbound. Obviously, Johansson and Felly have got to be very careful. 4 fouls apiece. 2 integral pieces as Winley from 3, no good. As Felly trying to get the rebound, has to pull off there, trying not to get his 5th foul as DeRusso heads up the floor. Hands off to Greiger. Screen from Pater. Fade away, no good off the front of the brim. And Williams now up the floor. Williams driving, kick out to DeRusso. And not able to hit was Johansson. Blocked from DeRusso. And Greiger heading up the floor. Coming back into this one, Charlie Jackson for the Blue Jays.
Huge possession here for the Eagles. I mean, a bucket here would be demoralizing for the Blue Jays.
And you just said it. Tip play almost gets in. DeRusso lays it off the glass and in. 2 second chance opportunities. And Feller kicks over to Williams, and they gotta get stuff rolling. And Coach Kane not happy, Ryan. Obviously his team taking their time, and time is of the essence right now. Full timeout here from Ryan Kane, trying to motivate his team, get them rolling. 12-point deficit, not easy to come back from 2.5 minutes left to play.
And Coach Kane losing his absolute mind over there on the bench. I'll tell you what, man, I would not want to be playing for Coach Kane the way he's acted today.
Yeah, obviously, Ryan, Coach Kane, very frustrated with the calls and very understandable at some points. We've had a very, no other way to put it, tight game in terms of the foul calls, but other than that, your team's not shooting at a high percentage at all, and you're not getting the calls to go your way. It's just definitely not a good night for Coach Kane and the Blue Jays. Nothing really going right here in Van Noord. It's still 15 seconds left to play. They got to get something rolling. A 3-point try here quickly would really turn the tides and somehow have them find some way to get back in this one. Would not be surprised if they whip out a full court press as well. Maybe get a few turnovers and try to cut the lead in half. Williams inbound to Winley, to Felly. Looking for the play, looks to be a little bit jumbled. Johansson step back over to Winley. Winley driving off the glass, in and out. And possibly having to foul. And a timeout there from Torrin Hanna, the guard, out of Mount Horeb. And a very smart timeout used there. Definitely don't want to give Johns Hopkins the ball there with 2:20 left to play.
Yeah, really wise decision there to call the timeout and not turn the basketball over and give the Blue Jays a little bit of momentum. And now it allows these Eagles to go into the huddle, and Coach Gritzmacher to really draw something up to break this press, continue to maintain control, and not give these Blue Jays an opportunity to claw back in.
Yeah, really an opportunity to break the press, like you said, and maybe even draw up a play to put away the Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in with us. We know we still have 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to play, but we want to thank you guys for tuning in with us from the University of Wisconsin-La-Crosse and Johns Hopkins University. We've been happy to have you with you here, and look forward to after the game of an interview with the winning coach. Here with Ryan and Ryan, and an inbound long ball here to Johansson. Excuse me, Furman. And that one, Charlie Jackson will pick up the foul, his second, so he's got a few more to give. And right now, if you're a Blue Jays faithful, Ryan, you just gotta pray that the Eagles stop their hot shooting from the line.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a long, long bus ride back to Johns Hopkins after this for these Blue Jays.
Yeah, very long indeed. And 2 for 2 from the stripe. And the Blue Jays got to get something going quick. Thought about a step back three. Windley now passing back over, turnover, going the other way, going up, and almost able to throw it down and in and out. Not what you want to see. In transition now, Williams, step back, three-point try, no good. Offensive rebound for Windley. Windley over to Williams. Williams, step back three, that one good.
2 for $1 there, and Williams able to knock down the second one.
And let's hope that breaks the ice on Williams scoring here tonight. And a wide open layup here for J.J. Pater. Williams with it once again over to Windley. Windley thought about it from way deep. Over to Foley. Felly no good. And Furman with it. Johns Hopkins foul once again. Charlie Jackson lead now at 13. Have the opportunity to extend it to 15 again, and 2 for 2 on the line on the last attempt. Once again, the senior Reedsburg native will head to the line for 2. First one in, 14-point lead. Nick Klaber heading back in for Charlie Jackson. Looking to extend the lead to 15. Will Furman will do it. And Coach Ryan Kane spends his last timeout down 15, sending in 4 substitutions here for the Blue Jays. A lot of substitutions. I'll get those to you in a sec, but Ryan, what do you think the plan is here? Obviously, you had Jeb Williams able to hit a 1 down there, but you got to convert a little bit quicker than that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think you need to be a basketball expert to figure out that the goal here for the Blue Jays is put the ball in the hole, because man, oh man, they have not figured out how to do that here through the first 39 minutes of basketball here. There's that math problem for you, Ryan, but goodness gracious. Just put the ball in the hole and foul.
Yeah, you said it right there.
And do it as fast as you possibly can, because with 1:22 seconds, time is not in your favor.
And Ryan doing some pretty quick math there, 39 minutes, obviously 38 and a half and rounding up. So look at you go, doing some.
Yeah, 38 to be exact.
Look at you go.
If we want to get specific.
And now Johns Hopkins, number 3, Ellington Manor driving in. The freshman lays it off the glass and in, and wow, the freshman getting the work done here and guarding, not fouling here. Full court press, taking it away, almost. And the reserves putting in a lot of work here for the Blue Jays, Ryan. And another timeout called, the final one of this game for JT Gritzmacher.
Yeah, and all the Eagles have to do here is just take care of the basketball, and I think that's what Coach Gritzmacher's going to talk to his squad about. Say, hey guys, like, look, we're up 13, we're comfortable, we got 1 minute of basketball. Just hold on to the ball. Don't get sped up by this press. Make the smart pass. Fake it before you make it. Get up the floor. Get fouled. Knock down your free throws. And we're going to go out here on a happy trip back to Wisconsin.
Yeah, 100% Ryan. Obviously, Coach Kane sending in a few of the reserves and Manor and a few others having the opportunity to get on the floor, a pair of fresh legs and guys that are going to go on the floor and really want the ball. And still 20 seconds left to play, but the Eagles of Wisconsin-LaCrosse ready to get going back on the bus as they'll get things going. Torrin Hanna to inbound. And Camden Parada, Isaiah Hansen, number 11, 14. 5 is the only one who remained in the game, Nick Klaber. And Wyatt Ellington Manor will stay in this one as well. 55 seconds to play. Not fouling, but just a lot of pressure here on DeRusso on the near side. Driving now, Euro step up and in.
And what a finish there. Pretty finish from him. He's got 20.
Yeah, just doing a lot of work on the dribble drive. 3-point try for the freshman there, Luke Feller. And 33 seconds left to play. 8 seconds differential between the game and shot clock. DeRusso again with it. 25 to play, some pressure from the Blue Jays. DeRusso off to Prater. And Greiger lays it in off the glass. The freshman for the Blue Jays trying to get things going, and they'll turn it over one more time. And Furman will get across half court, and that one will do it for this one as the University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse wins 76-59 against the Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays. And Ryan, a game that started off a little bit slow, ended pretty decently for the Eagles.
Yeah, it was a game that started off slow, not a lot of offense, but the Eagles kind of got it going. They were able to get good production out of DeRusso. Several other members finding their way in double figures. It was a team effort, and they played really, really well here tonight.
In just a minute, Coach JT Gritzmacher wants to give a talk to his boys before coming back out for the interview, but as we have that time, we'll see the Emory Eagles and heading out onto the floor to take on the John Carroll University Blue Streaks. And a big game, big matchup coming up at 5:30 here in Van Noord Arena.
But yeah, stay tuned for that interview. But man, like when we get that stat sheet in front of us and we see it, the biggest differential was that both of these teams didn't shoot the basketball well tonight, but the Eagles were able to do just enough. And I think that ability for them of not having to live or die by the three-point shot really, really, really made the difference here in this one.
And Ryan, I want to point this out to you. 34 free throw attempts for the Eagles of Wisconsin-LaCrosse. That is an absurd number of free throws.
Yeah, and they were able to capitalize on those free throws, shooting 76.5% as a team. And anytime you get it done and take advantage of those free points, you know you're going to be in for a good night. And especially on a night like tonight, where there wasn't a lot of offense, and offense came at a premium, getting it done at the free throw line was absolutely essential to their success here in this one.
And Ryan, I wanted to point out one of these things. Johns Hopkins attempted 10 more tries from behind the arc than the Eagles did, only sinking 2 more than the University of Wisconsin-LaCrosse. So that's 10 possessions just basically given up compared to the Eagles. And looking at both sides, only 5 turnovers for Wisconsin-LaCrosse, double that 10 for Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, and man, oh man, 8 for 27 too from behind the arc. A rough shooting night from deep for the Blue Jays. Man, it was brutal, and it was at times tough to watch.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. And looking from halftime stat sheet to now, Johns Hopkins, although losing the game, did come back out and did a lot better job at scoring in the paint. Obviously, still Wisconsin-LaCrosse leading Johns Hopkins University, but 28 to 20 points in the paint. You got to be happy pounding the paint a little bit more in that second half if you're Coach Kane.
Yeah, folks, continue to stay with us for that interview from Coach Gritzmacher. Wanted to go in the locker room and get fired up with his boys after that big win, and totally understandable when you go on the road like that and are able to overcome what the Eagles overcame in terms of a very, very rough shooting night to be a very, very talented team in the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays.
Yeah, very talented team indeed. Obviously, I mean, we didn't talk about it enough, but John Windley very casually dropping 20 points. And man, oh man, I didn't even know if he was over double digits, Ryan. And next thing you know, I looked up at the scoreboard and he's at 20 points already.
And I think that's a bright spot for this Blue Jays team, is knowing that they have a guy in John Windley who came in averaging 22 points per game to the contest, that at any given time they needed, that he could get a bucket.
Yeah, for sure. A bright spot indeed. Obviously, Jeb Williams not shooting at the percentage that he really wanted to, but hitting 14 points. And for the Eagles, Greiger, DeRusso, Furman, and Green above that double digits. And Coach Gritzmacher, congrats on the victory. A great game indeed. You know, what are your thoughts on the game in general?
I mean, we knew coming in, I think last night we made made 15 threes. But one thing we try to talk about is our defense is going to travel. And tonight we made 6, and that wasn't how we were going to win the game. I mean, we only shot 38%, but we held a team that we think's, I mean, actually, the last 3 games, every team we played, we thought was the best team we played. And we held them to 29%. And if we do that on the defensive end, we can win a lot of games.
Yeah, obviously both teams kind of started out slow today. A lot of missed three-point tries, but really coming down to it was the defense doubling, getting 10 turnovers on their end, just huge for the opportunity, and keeping the ball to yourself, only 5 turnovers on your half.
Yeah, I think that's something we really preach. We want to have, one is for us, we want to have a higher assist in turnovers every game, and then we want to force more turnovers than we have. It just helps us get more possessions. And for us, I think the big part of the game was when it was, 56-54. They made a little run. They got hot. I mean, they got some good guys. Like John Windley's a really, really good player, and he hurt us a little bit. But we just stuck with it, and I think we ended with 10 straight stops, and that's what won us the game.
Yeah, what did you tell your team? Obviously, going into halftime, really, really tight game. Obviously, you guys had 34 free throw opportunities there from the stripe. But what did you go in and tell your team, what adjustments do we need to make? Obviously, physicality in there. You don't want to be too physical, but you obviously don't want to totally pull off of there.
Yeah, I think just for us, it was no let up. Like the biggest growth factor that a lot of our guys have had this year is we've learned how to come out faster. We've learned how to play the next 4 minutes faster, and we just didn't have a let up. And we kind of knew we like games like that. I mean, I ref a lot of our practices, and I'm not the best at calling fouls, so they're kind of used to playing like that, and we just got to play through it. And we knew that if we could keep the pace up, we feel pretty deep with our guys, and we had a lot of guys who helped us today, that we'd be in a good spot. And I mean, again, like Dusty DeRusso was really, really good with 20 and 10, and Will Furman was really good. We just had a lot of guys step up. Chris Green had a really good night, so we had a lot of guys step up. And when we do that, we know that we can be really good.
Yeah, that was the last question I had for you. And, Coach, was, DeRusso there, 20 points, obviously getting it done on the dribble drive. What do you got to say on that? Obviously not hitting from the percentage you want from behind the arc, but doing that dribble drive, finding those people in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing we kind of really pride ourselves on is, hey, we might not – we don't want to be one-dimensional. So if we're not going to make shots, we want to figure out a way to get to the rim and score different ways. And then if we're going to get to the rim and they're going to, help off guys, we like to get what we call shrink threes, and that's kind of what last night was. And tonight was the opposite game. We had to be tough. We had to finish at the rim. I mean, we got some stuff to clean up, but we got a nice long bus ride back to LaCrosse, so we'll enjoy it.
Yeah, Coach, congrats on the victory. Congrats on 2 wins here at Van Noort Arena at Calvin University. Hopefully, you guys have a nice, safe trip back to
LaCrosse.
Good.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you. Yep, thank you.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Sorry. Yep, thank you.
Oh, I'm stuck. Sorry. You're all good.
Appreciate it. Yep, have a good one.
Appreciate you coming back out.
And you heard it right there, folks. Coach JT Gritzmacher in his second season, going 2-0 on the weekend here at the University of Calvin. And that'll do it for the broadcast. We hope you stick with us and join us for John Carroll University facing off against Emory here at Van Noord Arena in about 20 minutes. This will be it for Ryan and Ryan tonight, but we hope you stick with us here at the Great Lakes Invitational. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope you had a good time. Stay safe out there. God bless, and we hope to see you guys next time.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time, folks.